This is Coffee with the Archbishop. I'm Archbishop Christopher Coyne, and joining me today with his really great coat, because I've been wearing mine for a while now, David put his on, is Mr. David Elliott, my regular interlocutor.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me again, David.
Absolutely. Now, I know for a fact that you are celebrating not just one, but two significant anniversaries this year. Want to tell the audience what those are?
Well, one's 15 years as a bishop, and that's on March 2nd. And then on June 6th, I'll be a priest for 40 years.
Now, that is they're both significant, but priest for 40 years, that is a very significant anniversary.
Yeah.
I think anyone would agree. I mean, obviously, we're not quite there yet. This would have been in what, June? June? Okay.
June of 86.
So we're not quite there yet, but we're almost there. But mentally, sort of, how are you experiencing such a huge milestone in your vocation?
With much thankfulness, I've never regretted for one moment, and I mean that sincerely, that I was ordained a priest. There have been tough moments. There have been moments of, like all things in life, ups and downs. But it's the choice that I made and the choice of the church to ordain me is one that I've lived with now for over 40 years. And I'm doing the best I can. And I've walked, but it's taken me to all kinds of different places. When I was ordained in '86 with my 11 other classmates in Boston by Cardinal Law, I just thought I was going to be a parish priest, and that's the best job in the priesthood, to be a parish priest. But it's taken me in all kinds of different places.
Do you stay in touch with any of your classmates?
I do. I saw them recently. One of my classmates died of
sorry to hear
cancer.
that.
Well, yeah, it was sad. And so I saw all of them. Two of them have left the priesthood, but they were there.
Wow.
And so I talked to them as well as with others. And the funny thing was when I walked in, because I haven't been with a person for a while, I walked in and I didn't recognize about 4 or 5 of them because they had changed over time. So,
Sure.
But we were all glad to see each other, even though we were there for Father Mark's funeral. But
Are any of them bishops, or is it just you?
just me.
Okay, all right.
Just me.
Top of the heap, I see.
I guess. I remember one of our priests was recently asked in an interview by a young man, would you ever want to be a bishop? He said, no. I said, I'm glad doing what I'm doing.
Right.
I said, okay.
So now this would have been in 1986 that you became a priest.
Yeah.
Now, I was not
10 years after I graduated high school.
I was not born yet, but that is okay because I am a man of culture, and I want to discuss with you today some of the cultural, political, geopolitical, and other matters of 1986. We're going to look back. We're going to look back and see what you remember about some of these big milestones.
Okay, this is part of this cultural as well as political?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the top film. Do you have any guess what that would have been? Highest by top, I mean highest grossing film of 1986.
That was the time when they had all those big over-the-top movies, like Die Hard and other movies came out around that.
This one's pretty over the top.
It's probably the Terminator? No,
It's not the Terminator. It is Top Gun.
Top Gun, okay.
Top
that makes
Gun.
sense.
Did you see it in theaters?
I did.
Was that in Rome? Were they showing it in Rome?
I didn't go to Rome until 1990.
Oh, okay. Right, sure.
I had a parish assignment for 3 years. Then I studied languages, and then I went over.
Okay.
So I didn't go to Rome.
So you would have been. So where would you have been?
I was
in
in.
86?
I was in. My first assignment was St. Mary of the Hills in Milton, Massachusetts.
Okay.
With Monsignor John Dillon Day as the pastor.
Ah.
Father Larry Sullivan as the senior curate, and then me. So.
Dylan Day, Sullivan, and Coyne. That's a very.
Yeah. So we had two. We had two house. We had a housekeeper named Mary. We had a cook named Mary. The secretary's name was Mary.
Right.
The secretary over the school is named Mary.
Yep.
So St. Mary of the Hills was well acquainted with the Marys.
Yeah,
There were lots of Marys.
Top song. Might you have a guess for what this could be?
Thriller, Michael Jackson.
Not Thriller. I'm not sure. I don't think that was 86. I think that was 84 or 83.
I don't know. There's so many great songs from that period.
It was That's What Friends Are For by Dionne Warwick.
Oh. And I never thought I'd feel this way.
With the big harmonica solo in it.
Yeah, I can't do harmonica.
That probably sounded pretty hot in 86. I think it sounds a little dated today.
Yeah, I mean, that was Stevie Wonder.
Solo, yeah.
Elton John's on it. Stevie Wonder's on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What's his name? Drawing a blank. Someone will, I'm sure Jack will pop it up on his, on the thing.
So were you a fan of that song? That doesn't strike me as a song you would have been particularly into in 86. I'm not going to lie.
No, and that's when I was lifting. That's when I started lifting weights.
That's not gym music.
And so no.
You're probably listening to like Anthrax or Pantera or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
a lot of that.
Something
No,
like
a lot of mix. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Right, yeah.
With the headphones on when I was bulking up.
So this was the year of Super Bowl 20. And do you know who won it?
San Francisco 49ers.
No, this would have been the Chicago Bears.
Oh, they beat the Patriots. That's right.
Not to bring up a sore
Tony
subject.
Easton.
I don't know if that still lingers.
Yeah, the fridge. I should remember that. 1986.
Well, if your team lost, maybe you don't want.
Yeah, I wasn't even. I should have taken more time to think about it than that.
Well, maybe you'll take some more time to think about what the top TV show of 1986 was. We might have to cut this.
L.A. Law.
No, it was the Cosby Show.
Oy.
Back when Cosby was considered a wholesome figure.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that show as a kid. It was sort of like that was like the benchmark for like sort of wholesome family entertainment, at the time. Yeah. The Cosby sweaters,
What else was there? What are the other shows that were around there?
Well, some of the other big shows were Designing Women. I don't know if you remember that one. Mm-hmm. And one that I used to love watching as a kid, Night Court.
Okay. I
don't know if you remember Night Court.
Yeah. No, I do. No.
But
you weren't born then.
I was not yet born, no, but I remember seeing the reruns. Okay, one other quick fact, sort of pop culture related. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted their first group of inductees in that year, including Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to have any disagreements over those.
No,
those are as rock
and the Beatles,
solid as
I'm
it
sure.
gets. Yeah. Okay, so political matters, geopolitical matters. We have Iran-Contra. In 1986, that was a tough one. Mm-hmm. That was a tough one, and now we're having problems with Iran again.
Yeah,
but we don't have to talk about it. Also, two tragedies that have both been.
This wasn't OJ time, was it?
No. I was alive for OJ. OJ was early 90s.
Okay.
I remember I was in third grade for OJ. But in 1986, we had the Challenger explosion and the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. That day, I was at the stockyard for lunch with some friends.
Which, for Chernobyl
for Challenger?
Oh, the Challenger. And we were there, and they had, it was a sports bar on the TVs. They're watching the liftoff and all because there's no sports on. Mm-hmm. And we're all sitting there, and all of a sudden, you could just hear like the noise in the restaurant drop and drop and drop, and everybody's always. I'm going like, what's going on? And we went to the screen, and we like, what just happened?
Yeah.
It was tragic.
It's a terrible tragedy. Yeah. And obviously Chernobyl is deeply, what's amazing, I don't know if you know this, there are people who travel to Chernobyl now. They say it's safe enough to go, even though there are still high levels of radiation. And so people are going, people who do these kind of like these extreme tourism, little trips. You can go to Chernobyl and you can see it's an abandoned city.
It's an abandoned city.
It's all dogs with like 3 heads running around.
No. It's got. I was watching something on PBS about that actually nature has returned to Chernobyl, and there are animals, all kinds of animals in there, and they don't appear to be going through any kind of bad illness.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Would you go?
No, I don't.
You're not going to lead a pilgrimage to Chernobyl?
No.
Well, happy anniversary,
thank you.
Archbishop Coyne. 2 very, very important milestones. We'll talk about it a little more on social media as we get closer for sure, but cheers.
Thanks. And to my classmates, happy anniversary as well. My name is Archbishop Coyne, and you've been watching Coffee with the Archbishop.